Hey everybody, Jason here from Clear Canine. Today we're going to go over e-collar place and how to condition a dog to start utilizing this command. So I have Georgia here, and she's working on a mini educator, and the surface that we'll be using for conditioning her for place is a Caranda bed. You can use any type of surface. It can be a mat on the floor. I've had people cut yoga mats down. Four Legs, Four Pets makes a good raised cot. I like to use a raised surface that's off the floor. That way the dog can really differentiate the boundaries of place once we really start getting into holding them accountable for the command. So when we start conditioning her for place, the very first thing that we want to do is just get her familiar with the place cot. So she's familiar with this particular one. This is her bed. But if your dog's unfamiliar with it, you might want to just walk your dog onto it, have them walk off, do this a couple times. If they're a little unsure about it, you can reward them for simply stepping onto the place cot. That way they start to build a little bit of confidence up for the place cot if they're unsure about it. She's not unsure about this. She knows that this is her bed. We're just going to now start teaching her that when she's given the command that she's to stay here until she's released. So, I have done a couple of sessions with her. This is her third session. So how we begin at the very start is we deliver stimulation. We give the dog the command, and then we guide them onto the place cot. So it's stimulation on until all four paws are onto the place command, and then the stimulation goes away. So what we're doing is delivering stimulation and then teaching her what to do with that stimulation that she's feeling. This is her working level. So if you're new to the e-collar, what that means is it's the lowest level that the dog feels the collar. So I don't want the dog jumping. It's not making the dog feel pain or anything like that. The dog is feeling is a tingling sensation on their neck, and then I'm teaching them how to shut that off. So on the P of place, I'm going to deliver stimulation. On the G of good, I'm going to release the stimulation. And this is on the constant button. So depending on the collar you're using, if you're using a mini educator like I am, and you're set up with the momentary and constant button, then it's the red button. And we're delivering constant stimulation until she reaches the place mat. So place. Good. Good. And I reward her for going on there. Now, as I'm walking her to the placemat, I'm stopping at the very point that I wanted to stop on within the placemat. Break. That's going to change as we move further forward in the conditioning part of it. Place. Good. Good girl. Now we're going to do this several times with her. We're going to take her to the placemat, right to the very center. We're going to walk her onto it. We're going to deliver stimulation. Place. And you'll see that the dog, a lot of dogs automatically will sit when they get into the center of the pad, because especially if you're delivering a reward, because this is where the reward's going to come from. Break. So once she understands the process of going onto the place command or the place cot and then breaking from it, what we're going to do is we're going to start stopping just before the place command and expecting her to move forward beyond us, and then she'll be rewarded and the stimulation will go away the same time. So it's place. Good. So I'm not guiding her all the way to place. Break. Now, mind you, this is her third session, so sessions are usually 15 to 20 minutes, so you can see how quickly dogs will pick up on this particular command, and every dog is different. She's a bit of a knucklehead sometimes, so if she can get it this quickly, other dogs can as well. So, place. Good girl. Break. Now I'm using the break command to release her from the pet cot. and I'm using that every time that she is released from there. It's the word that in my training that I will use to release the dog from any command that they're in, whether it be waiting at a threshold, waiting for their food, on the place command, if they're in a duration down, duration sit, no matter what the command is, I use break to release the dog from that command. Place. Good. And I see that as soon as I start to deliver stimulation to her, she starts moving in the direction of the place command. Break. Now you can come from either way, this way, that way. I'm just doing this so that I'm not blocking the camera. So if she decides to just go on the place command, I'll just continue walking. I didn't tell her to go on there. It's okay for her to walk on it. It doesn't matter. It's not going to mess anything up. Place. Good girl. Good. Now, once the dog starts to understand the command, and they start to get it to where you walk them on, and they sit, and you stop just before, and they sit. Now you're going to go beyond the place command and expect them to stay while you continue forward. And this is the harder part for the dog because the dogs are going to want to follow us, but they're not given the break command yet, so they need to be held accountable for being here on place where they're supposed to be. So break. Place. Nope. Place. Good. Now, she just stepped off of the place cot. So what I did was, as soon as her paws came off, stimulation went back on, and then I used both pressure from the e-collar and spatial pressure to kind of guide her back onto the place command. And as soon as her paws went back up, stimulation went away, and then she was rewarded. Break. So I'm hoping that after a few times of doing this, she'll understand that she needs to stay there, place, no matter if I bypass it. Good girl. Good. Nope. Place. Good. Same cycle again. I went back, I rewarded her, she stepped off, stimulation went on, spatial pressure, she went back onto the place cot, stimulation off. Break. Place. Good girl. This is where I want her to get to. Point where I can come out here, out to the outside of the place cot. And she does not follow. Break. Good girl. Now you can do this with food alone or treats alone. However, the only downfall to that is when there's a distraction that's higher than a value than your treat, you're going to lose on the place command. Break. Place. Good. No. Place. Good girl. Now I'm going to start holding her a little bit more accountable, so I'm not going to give her a reward once she has stepped off and then goes back to it. Because what you'll create, if you continue to do that, is you'll create a dog that will step off and then step back on simply to get a reward. So now I just stimulation on, and her reward was the stimulation went away when she got all four paws back onto the placemat. Break. Place. Nope. Place. I use that bending down as a distraction to her. A lot of dogs will, as she did, break from place when you bend down because they want to interact with us, they want to be a part of us, but they haven't been given the command in order to allow them to come to us yet. So they need to be held accountable for this place. So it's important because, especially if you have a dog that has behavioral problems, this place command can solve a lot of problems. Not only can a dog not jump on guests when they're in place, you know, they can't nip at people, they can't do a lot of their bad behaviors if they're in place and they're held accountable for, you know, the place for this boundary. So we have to be stronger than a lot of our distractions, and that's where the e-collar kind of gives us the ability to be a little bit higher of value than whatever distraction is that the dog wants to go get. Right. Place. Nope. Place. Break. Place. Nope. Place. Again, stimulation was turned back on until she got back on place, and then it went away as soon as she went on the place. Break. Now, I'm going to turn her e-collar up one notch. So, place. Because I don't want to underwhelm her. That may be a better level for her, because if she continues to break, maybe the stimulation that she's feeling just isn't as important as coming to me. So for her, that one notch on her e-collar may be what she needed in order to hold her in that place. Break. Place. Nope. Place. Girl. Nope. Place. Place. Break. So you continue to do this over and over and over again until you think she's really got it, until the mistakes are almost non-existent, and then we start removing the leash and we start holding her accountable for staying within this area, and then we work on duration. So duration, distraction, and distance are the 3 Ds that we work on when we're dealing with dogs. So as soon as she starts getting this condition, then we'll start working on the distraction part and putting some distractions out. Like I'll have other dogs out here playing while she's held accountable for being in place. And then we'll also be working on her duration. So longer and longer and longer. Nope. Place. So that she understands that this area is where she needs to stay until she is released from there. So again, Jason from Clear Canine. Hopefully this helps a lot of you guys out in figuring out how to get the place started for your dogs. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.